What's up, y'all? So this live is gonna be with Miss Karle. I'm so excited for it. My boy, Chadrick Davis. What's happening? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Man, that was fast. That was fast, Karle. I see you already joined. Let me go ahead and accept you. What's up, Maya? What's up, Davion? Chad, you're quick. What's up, Karle?
Hey,
Yeah, I'm good. You can probably like move your camera down a little bit.
there
Yeah.
we go. A lot better.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I can't complain. Like I told you, I'm really excited about the conversation. Um, we've done a one-on-one, which I'm going to get into that. So I just know you well, and just really excited for everybody else to get to know you. So I usually start off with like a spotlight on a Black business. And um, today, I really wanted to give a shout out to Tari. I think Tari's already here, but she has this amazing peach cobbler business that she has, and it's delicious. Like this girl probably makes the best peach cobbler in Houston. And what is it? It's countrycobblerco.com. So Tari, please drop the link.
Yes. I love
Because I think we all love us some peach cobbler.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you? Is that
Oh,
one of
I
your
love
favorite
it.
desserts too?
I can eat it, year round with ice cream. Warm it up a little with some vanilla ice cream.
Absolutely. Okay, so what kind of ice cream though? Like what are we
Just
doing?
vanilla, vanilla,
But what
plain.
brand? Is it Bluebell? Is it
Bluebell.
HUB? Right.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
I was trying to get you there. But nah, so yeah, so as I said, country cobblers, it is. So yeah, if anybody, is watching this later on the replay, or if you're in here now and you just wanted to order you some cobbler, you're in that H, definitely order it from them. Like it's Black owned, she's so cool. And yeah, just really intentional. She's also like a plant lady. So like, I mean, what doesn't Tari do? Anyway, but let's get back to the live one-on-one because today we have Miss Karle. And so as you know, I kind of start off with an intro. I'll go into some house rules, and then we can kind of go area by area to kind of let you hear what I perceived going through your questionnaire, and then kind of validate that with you. And then we can talk about like what that means for the person you're looking for. Um, so I'm really excited about this because, again, like I really enjoyed our conversation, and I think that there's someone out here that is going to be hearing the things that you're saying and it's going to connect with them. So that's the essence of these live one-on-ones, right? Like we're just literally just trying to have a conversation and be clear about what we want, don't want,
Mhm.
and put that out in the universe. And, hopefully that connects us with people who may not be in your immediate circle, but will see this and then say, you know what, that might be my person. I like her voice. I like what she's saying. I know I did. All right. So let me jump into it. Okay. So tonight's guest didn't ask to be here. She's not chasing the spotlight. She's not trying to go viral. She's here because she booked a private one-on-one, and I can see that she's serious about finding a person. And I found her very likable, reasonable, and just an all-around refreshing human. So I asked her to come on. And she's such a private person, she had literally already drafted her email politely declining the invite. But then she also remembered that she told her therapist that she wanted to step outside of her comfort zone and put herself out there. So she said, you know what, I'm going to accept the challenge. That's a little bit about Karle. So She's based in Houston. She's from Austin. We're not gonna hold that against her. She's the oldest of three. She was raised in a very tight knit, loving, supportive family where books and travel and growth were just a part of the regular life. Her parents have been married for decades,
Mhm.
and that's the kind of consistency that shapes how she moves now. She spent time on the East Coast in college, then she went to grad school, and now she has a career in healthcare, and she's doing purpose driven work that pays her well but doesn't run her world. Statistically, Carly's in the top 2% of Black women when it comes to income. But she's not leading with that. She's more interested in emotional availability, ambition, and alignment than checking boxes. Um, she mentors through big brothers and big sisters, and she's done that since 2014. She serves on the Junior League of Houston. And when she talks about love, she talks about building something real, not just sharing a vibe or worrying about how a little bill is going to get split, right? Travel is her love language. London is a favorite of hers. She's looking forward to seeing the world with her person. So yeah, you'll see in this live that Carly's got a lot of range, right? Like she's grounded, she's intentional, she's not here to settle, she's not here to perform. You'll get the real from her. And it's like she cuts straight to it, and that's refreshing because like it's genuine, so you'll see. But anyway, this is the Well Matched Live, and Car's the type of woman who reminds me that healthy love starts with a healthy sense of self, and she has that. So let's get into it. Carly, welcome. How'd I do?
Yes. Yeah, that was a long intro, but like not liking the limelight on myself, I thought it was perfect. It was
Yeah,
spot on. It was
y'all
perfect.
see the little criticism. It was long, but it was good. Okay,
It was good.
I appreciate that. That's one thing about her. She gonna tell you the truth. Okay, so Carly, before we get into it, I just want to, make a quick message, and everybody here knows this. If you're here, your family, right? Like we all know we can disagree, but we just don't want to be disrespectful. And fellas, you can shoot your shot, but just don't fumble the vibe. You know what I'm saying? So like, cool, we go. Let's keep it intentional. Let's keep it cool.
Mhm.
All right. Um, Emotional intelligence. Okay, so Carly, I was looking at your responses, looking at your survey, and you've done consistent therapy. You scored yourself for emotional availability a 10 out of 10. I could tell you're very introspective on like how you show up, and I could tell that you wanted that same thing in return. You said that your biggest mistake in the past was staying too long trying to help someone else heal, but therapy helped you realize that it's not your job to fix someone, so you now prioritize, clear boundaries and emotional self-care. Is that is that kind of accurate? Is that
Yeah, yeah, that is spot on. I mean, just dating while you're younger, you're completely you grow a lot when you get to this age, and so I think just being in therapy on and off, going through a hard relationship, of course you want that to last, but then realizing, years later and stepping back and looking back, you realize that there were mistakes and there were things that you do better. So I think because I, to your point, have been intentional and done the work, whether it be books, reading, advice, I'm able to be receptive to that feedback and not feel like, well, I'm not the problem, even though if I wasn't the bigger problem, right, everyone has room to grow.
yeah?
And so I definitely can say I'm at that point in my life where like I am all in. And I know you and I talked about this. My theme for 2025 is putting myself in different places and spaces.
Mm.
And this was one of them because I wasn't raising my hand for this. I was like, oh, I can never do the live. And here I am, challenging myself to do something I typically wouldn't do. So yeah, kudos to you for kind of putting me in this position to challenge myself. And, I'm happy to be here.
Kudos to you. I mean, like this is, I mean, listen, you have this amazing personality. I think that people are gonna fall in love with Carly today. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. So I guess, I may have some hard questions for you, but I think you can handle them. So
Okay.
like one of the things that I saw after reading that was like, all right, so like what does emotional safety actually feel like for you? Like not in theory, like but daily. You say like, okay, you're looking for someone who prioritizes clear boundaries and is safe, but like, what does that safety look like for you, like in real time and just like on a day to day, not in theory?
I think the biggest thing, and I'm going to go back to like my previous relationships, would be being able to have hard conversations, but being able to kind of return to a healthy place in the relationship, right? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
those challenging, and I say healthy conversations, I should say healthy, challenging conversations, because not everyone's comfortable having conversations, whether it be finances, what does our life look like in the future, but realizing that those conversations need to take place, especially early on with dating, if you're dating to marry, like myself, being intentional and having those tough conversations and not holding it over your partner's head. I think that's really important. And that's what safety looks like for me, because relationships are constant communication. That's how we, respond back to each other. That's how we express our needs, express our love languages. And so, it's not just really what you communicate. I know you and I talked about this. It's also how you communicate. And so I think that kind of sets a healthy relationship style. I mean, obviously that's one thing in the bigger pot of having a healthy relationship. But what I realize is, for me, that's kind of sets the tone with being able to have those hard conversations over and over, because you're constantly going to have them if you want to grow.
And you have to have those conversations for work too, right?
Yeah,
Like as a part of your
yeah,
job.
yeah. So it's a little easier for me, I would say, because in my former role as a project manager, I, forced to have those conversations. So you're able to have like a dynamic role and capabilities to talk with different styles. Like there's different working styles, and you have to kind of manage those. They're going to be different from yours. But I think what I also realized is that just because I'm comfortable in that, because I do that, my 9 to 5, doesn't mean that my partner will be, as receptive or, a 10 out of 10 for being able to do that at an easier pace.
Because it's hard. Like not every guy is gonna be, emotionally mature at the
Mm-hmm.
time that y'all meet. So like I guess that was my next question. Like we all can see that you're very emotionally available, but like can you handle a man whose way of processing emotions is totally different? Like maybe more reserved, maybe it's a little bit slower. Like will that frustrate you or cause tension, or like would you invite him to kind of go through his process and like usher him along and understand like, all right, yeah, like you may not have all those skills now, but like that's not, you know um cause for me to run.
Yeah, yeah, no, I I think that's a lesson learned in previous relationships, is giving that person space. And my attachment style has changed, because
Mm,
previously someone needs space, let's talk about it now, I can talk about it, it's not uncomfortable for me, let's solve it and move on. But
right.
so my attachment style was that, oh well, this person doesn't want to talk to me now about it, and so it made me kind of anxious,
Yeah.
but now I'm to the point where some people need that time, to
Mhm.
a day or two. Doesn't mean we're going to sweep it under the rug. I
Right.
have a great memory.
Yeah.
doesn't mean we're gonna, push it and just avoid it.
Right.
But some people need that space, and to
Absolutely.
have that and be secure enough to know, as long as we're gonna revisit that,
Yeah.
that we can, have that conversation later. So yeah, definitely a big learning lesson.
Y'all saw Carly's eyes when she said, I'm not gonna forget. She's not. And yo, and Carly, I don't know if you can see the chat. This is like the one thing that happens with that. Like, I don't know if people can see the chat week by week. Can you see what people are saying in the chat?
I can
Just a
see
quick
the
check.
chat, but I'm not trying to pay attention to it, so
I
I can
love that.
focus.
I love that. Okay. All right. Let me be the disc jockey with the chat. So right now, you're just getting a lot of love.
Okay.
You're getting a lot of love. People are saying that you're dope. Um, and that's true. So yeah, so that was emotional intelligence. I think y'all saw, right? Like she is so emotionally intelligent, guys, and it's like she's super fair and reasonable. Like I said, when I talked about her intro, you'll see that kind of be a recurring thing. So let's talk about communication and conflict. Okay. So Carla, we kind of talked about this just now, right?
Mhm.
You admitted like your challenge is giving space for people to calm down after tough conversations, like knowing not everybody matches your fast problem solving pace. So you want to get better at allowing that, that space without feeling shut down, right? So I guess, what's the question I want to ask for you? Like, and I think we already talked about it, right? Like, if a man needs more than 24 hours to process a fight,
Mm-hmm.
like before he responds, this is
Mm-hmm.
a question for you. Before he responds, like, will you respect that process or see that as emotional maturity and then say that, like, yo, that's not my guy?
No, I definitely think that's why communication is important, right? Like the style and you communicate, oh, you need 20, you need, a day. I'm not gonna, clock the time. Like you said 24 hours, right? But you need a day, you need some time. Let's both communicate our needs, our boundaries on our end. And I don't think that's something to run from. I think over time you'd be able to tell if that was a real red flag of like complete avoidance, right? An avoidance style by not revisiting it or me bringing it up 2 days later and like, hey, we were going to talk about this. So I
Yeah.
think that's why it's important to, like I said, communicate. You don't have to, jump into a relationship to learn a lot of this stuff about people. You can do it a couple months in advance. So yeah,
Right.
I definitely agree with giving that person space and communicating needs on both ends. It's definitely the right thing to do.
Okay. So do you tend to like guys that are like over communicative or like man of few words? Like what's something you usually prefer? Or is it like, yo, it's a blend and
I mean, obviously my preference because my style is to communicate or over communicate. I'm not going to shy from that. It'd be great if somebody could do that, but I do know that not everybody has that style, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not going to say that's a man thing, but maybe it is a man thing. Was just like, oh, we got to talk about this. Oh, we got to talk about this. But I don't. I mean, that's not a deal breaker. But that is my style. So of course I'm going to welcome like, oh, you love to have a conversation to sit down too. Great. I mean, that would make things flow a lot easier, right? If you have that person that's really comfortable in diving in. Because my whole thing is the earlier we can have these hard conversations, or maybe just deal breakers, because you're constantly going to be learning your partner if you get into something serious and if you
Yep.
marry for the rest of your life. But if we can have these early on, we help the headache for both of us when we realize this is something you want, this is a deal breaker, and we don't have to force it because we've
Right.
had those in-depth conversations very casual over a drink at a coffee shop, whatever it be,
Yeah.
in the backyard, on a lawn chair, to kind of just get to know each other on a deeper level.
That's the thing. You're not trying to force it. Like
Yeah.
she's not trying to force it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I think you got some people who are out here like I'll be cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then honestly, not being cool, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But just saying that. And like what Carly says is like, yo, like, I'm not cool with everything, but here's what I am cool with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's whatever like she's very reasonable, like I'm telling you. So yeah, so just listen up. Okay, so let's talk about financial mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is number 3 of 9. Like I said, Carly is in the top 2% of earners. I said I wouldn't say the number, but I have to find a new way to like to kind of differentiate because I always say like she's doing so well or he's doing well, but it's like it's relative. She's in the top 2%, guys. She's a homeowner. She has her master's. She started a new job that's even better than the old one she had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she's career driven. She wants to contribute to the household. She wants to be wealthy, right? Not just rich, right? Like, and she's open to a man that makes less as long as he's financially responsible and ambitious. But she wants balance. It's not about income. It's about like, yo, like, is there alignment here? And I read that and I'm saying that that's what you're about. Is that true? Is that what you want?
1,000% true, right? Because we all know facts are facts, statistics are
Yeah.
statistics. So my preference is not to miss out on a great person, on a great spouse, because I'm so stuck on a number. Like I said, you and I talked, I have my
You do.
non-negotiables, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
right? But if you want to be statistically sound and factual, right? You're not always going to get that six-figure person.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Right.
Um, and there's
Right.
amazing, amazing people out there I know. My mom was a teacher. She was not making six figures. So
Right.
it's like, if I flip that, why wouldn't I, she's an amazing person. Why wouldn't I be okay with that? So like I said, that's not one of my non-negotiables. There are other non-negotiables. So I definitely agree with that, because there are people that are making six figures that are living above their means.
Yep.
So, we are talking about, what is your relationship with money? Are you saving for retirement? Are you spending above your means? So there's a lot of conversations that can be had with how you handle money. But my thing is, like, I'm big on drive, right? What are you doing next? What are you doing to better yourself? Are you doing continued education? Are you, taking some leadership course? So that's attractive to me, because I'm like a low-key nerd and I love reading
Right.
articles.
Right.
But yeah, so spot on with my
Oh,
response.
okay. Okay. So I was going to ask you if he's loyal and ambitious, but only makes 50K a year, does that disqualify him? Or can y'all build wealth together and grow together?
Yeah, that's like a
Yeah,
that's a good question. So
I know.
I definitely would say I'm not gonna knock somebody for that, because I mean, and no shade to teachers, but I always like to throw that in there, because everybody knows teachers don't make a lot of
Hmm.
money, or they don't make as much as they should. Not that everyone's making the same amount, because I know people in higher education that are doing very well, but like, I just like to use that as an example that everybody can relate to. No, I'm not going to pass up on that, because what if that person wants to be on the administrative side? What if that person has goals? What if they're really good with their money, and, like,
Absolutely.
I know people that don't make a lot, but they're killing it with their savings.
Yes.
You know, their lifestyle might be different. My lifestyle is a lot of travel, so I have to keep up with that. But I do know people that make less, that's not their desire, and so they're able to, like, rack up a lot of money. So I think those are conversations that can be had. Obviously, no, on the first date. I think that's a little nosy to ask people what they make, because it gives off the wrong impression.
I'll
But
handle
eventually, you're gonna have,
that. I'll handle that part for you. Don't you worry.
yeah, eventually you're gonna have to be comfortable. We're right having those type of conversations. But I definitely think you can build with people that are just as driven as you, just because they're a teacher or whatnot or
Where does that
whatever.
mindset come from, Carly? Like, is that just from seeing your mom and dad growing up? Is that just
That's
from you
probably my
living
mom.
life? Like,
Yeah, so I'm like a hybrid of my parents. My dad's like an extrovert night owl. He also went to Hampton. Shout out to my
shut
dad.
first.
Um,
I should have. That's on me. Okay, because we had two other people that went to Howard. We
uh-huh.
got Hampton in the building, y'all.
The
Turn
real
up.
issue. But but yeah, so I think I'm a hybrid. So my dad's that style. My mom's more introverted, but because she was a teacher and she's very low key, she raised us in that way where it was like, here's $5 for allowance. My dad made us save 80% of our check in high school. So everything around that, being responsible at a young age and complaining about it, because I want my little
I
paycheck
want my
from Lady Foot Locker.
coins. Right.
I used to work at Lady Foot Locker. I want my paycheck. Um, but it made it, like, those tools were it really instilled in me as a young adult,
Yeah.
and because of that, I just have so much perspective on, regardless of the amount of money you're making, you're still human. You still go through the same things as anyone on that spectrum of the salary.
Absolutely.
That's like 100%. And so for me to think that I'm more than because I've done these things is not reality, because you know a person making $50 and a person making six figures still can go to therapy because they've experienced trauma or whatever. So that's just how my perception of the world is, and I'm an empath. I'm really big on, like, volunteering and giving back, and I don't. It's probably from my mom. My mom, I would say, and just knowing that we're all human. We all experience the same thing.
Shout out to your mom. Shout out to
Yeah.
your mom. Yeah, no, she did her thing. All right, so we're moving pretty quickly. All right, so we're on number 4. So now we're on relationship goals. So this is 4 of 9. Let's talk about Carly's relationship goals. Carly wants a stable, healthy relationship with shared long-term vision. She walked away from someone who had some childhood trauma impacting his ability to kind of be consistent because more than a ring is needed for a lasting marriage, right? So like I guess my question to you from what I saw and like again, like, give me grace here, right? Right? Are you looking for a man ready to marry you specifically or just a man who's ready to get married, period?
I'm looking for someone that's ready to marry me, not just marry in general, right? Like you said, I if and we talked about this.
I know.
If
I
I
already know your answer. I'm just chilling, you know what
if
I'm saying?
if I wanted to be married, I could be married now. But it's not about a ring.
Yeah,
So choosing happiness, choosing other factors that are needed to have a healthy relationship are super important. I mean, we see all types of stuff with, people's friends, etc. So I'm definitely not here to have, I like to tell people, a fake Facebook relationship.
mm,
And choosing your happiness and getting the qualities, reasonable qualities, healthy qualities, especially if you want to have children, is very important. So I was willing to walk away, realizing that would delay something I desire, a family, and I know we'll get to that. But that's important to me because I didn't want to make that wrong decision. And so, it was hard, but COVID happened and all this stuff, but 1,000% made the right choice. 1,000%. Like,
absolutely.
I
You
would
make the right
make that decision
choice.
over and over, because I'd rather be the right person than just a person.
There's no benefit of going forward with someone when you know in like your head and your heart that that
Mhm.
ain't your person. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just gonna be residual pain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to do the hard thing in the moment, versus just doing the thing that everybody's telling you to do,
Hmm.
you know. So shout out to you for having that courage.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I said, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. So you talked about like kids. How many kids do you want?
When I was younger, I
You're still young.
I know, but when I was younger, I probably, I've always desired to have a big family. So I probably wanted, like, to have three and adopt one, like give somebody else like
Mm,
a great life. But at this point, definitely two, so that one can have, they can both have siblings. So yeah, definitely would love to have two kids.
I love that. And like, I didn't know that you were interested in adopting someone. Like, is that kind of the same energy? I know you've been since 2014 doing Big Brothers, Big Sisters. You've been
Mhm.
volunteering. Is that kind of like the same energy? Like, just kind of using your resources and just like making an impact in other people's lives who may not have as much as you.
Yeah, I definitely think adopting a child would allow, like to your point, just giving someone an opportunity to live a life that they might not otherwise be able to have, right? And especially if they end up staying in foster care, of course you're never going to know if they're a baby if they end up getting adopted. But I've always been big on giving back. Um, which is why I actually went to grad school. Originally, I was like, oh, I'm going to go work for a nonprofit. I'm going to go get my master's. Obviously, I never did that, because I was like, actually, I need to make some money
You're
first, and then
making
maybe
some money first.
retire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
maybe
money.
when I retire,
And then
I'll do that.
with the money, I can make the difference and the change.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So it definitely would be nice to give back to someone. So that was something I thought of,
now
but
that's
definitely
sweet.
have two of my own. I would love to.
That's what's up. Okay, fellas. So two of y'all own, and then maybe what I'm saying, adopt the white baby. JK, JK, JK. All right. So let me see. Do I have a question for you? Do I want to be a little? Let's say he wants four kids. How do you handle that, Carly?
I think those are conversations that need to be had, of course, early on, because
Yeah.
for no, but this goes back to deal breakers. So I think, like, if that's a deal breaker for me, I'm not willing to push out 4 children, but that's a deal breaker for you, we can discuss that before we even get into a relationship and something
Right.
serious. There's
Right.
not
Right.
that
Right.
pressure, trying to stay together, forced to be together, or, because he was a good compromise before, you're right. It's like half.
Absolutely.
So,
And I guess the
yeah,
point I want to make to people who are watching, mostly men, it's like I think sometimes you'll have people say, "Yeah, that sounds good. Sure, mm-hmm, let's do it. 4 kids, right?" And they know damn well they ain't gonna have 4 kids with your ass, right? And so, like, what you have here is someone who is gonna be honest and open, and like, I think you sense the trend by now, right? Like it's this like, yo, let's talk about it. Like there's nothing you need to hide. Just
yes.
let's just talk about everything.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm not gonna judge you, but I do want to know where we are because for her it's about alignment,
Yeah.
right? Does that make it like this is authentic, guys? Like trust me on this one. Okay, cool. So then let's talk about lifestyles and values. Okay, so Carly, okay, so you're actively practicing it for your faith, but not really church going. So you travel minimal for work, and you value partnership and like fluidity. Um, so how does your faith and your travel lifestyle shape like your ideal relationship rhythm?
Yeah, so I'll start off with the faith. Obviously, faith is important to me. Need someone that's a believer of God. I go when I can. I don't go every Sunday. So, of course, someone that would go from time to time, but I don't put the pressure on myself to have to go every single week, but I do like to do bedside Baptist, like a lot of folks, and watch it online.
Come
So
on.
that's
At which
awesome.
church? Which church?
Wheeler.
Come on, Willa. Hey, Carly, I don't want to look distracted, but I'm just getting texts saying, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna handle that later. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But like, dog, like, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm
It's,
distracting.
it's
Like, go
okay.
ahead.
It's
Go ahead. Go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So Wheeler, like I said, I don't go every week, but
Yeah.
faith is a big part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Faith is what helped me get through my like hardest past relationships. I mean, I don't know where I would be without that North Star. And I say that to say someone that believes in God is important because as we know, there are people that do and do not. And what a godly marriage is different in my opinion from a non-godly one. I mean, everyone has the right to have their own type of marriage, but everyone is defining it different from what I'm learning. So that's what's important to me. It's not that, like we're reading the Bible from front to back every day,
Right.
but hey, do you have those principles? Do you believe in God? Like those are important and that's non-negotiable for me. If you don't believe in God, then I think a lot of conflict can be created because that goes back to your character, your principle, your beliefs. Well, I don't believe in God, and so therefore I don't believe a marriage should look like this. And it's like, oh, okay, we're not aligning here. That's
Right.
okay, but maybe we just got to go separate ways. So, but that goes back to the authentic conversations. Like, just be real.
Just be
It's
real,
okay.
yo.
You don't have to
Just
force
be
it.
real. Like I should have just said like that was gonna be the theme. Just be real, because it's like you know you got a lot of people who just aren't gonna tell, like on both sides. You got men and women who just aren't gonna
Mm-hmm.
be 1,000 with you. You know what I'm saying? But like Carly's gonna be 1,000 with you, and we need somebody for Carly who is gonna be 1,000. Like my aunt used to say like she's great with like getting deals done. Like
Mm-hmm.
she buy a car. I wish my cousin Harry was here, his mom, and
Mm-hmm.
like she always taught him and us like, yo, in order for you to get a good deal, you got to be cool with walking away. You got to be cool with walking away.
Mm-hmm.
Are you cool with walking away? You know what I'm saying? Because
Absolutely.
if you're not, you're going to take them bad deals.
Mm-hmm.
If you cool with walking away, you can just be like, you know what? You're not for me. Wish you the best,
Yeah.
love. Hey, okay. My cousin Harry, he's on here. Yeah, Harry, you know the deal.
And I,
Yeah, so
and I agree with that, and I want to caveat that with in a mature way. So walking away is not. oh, you didn't text me back at 3 o'clock, bye, right? It's like you're walking away from non-negotiables,
Right.
right?
Right.
Infidelity. Oh, I don't actually want kids. That's totally fine, but guess what? I do, so we got to walk away.
Well,
So
hey, you be blessed.
yes, yes, walking
You
away
have a
from
good day. Right,
the
right.
true adult, non-negotiable things, and not obviously the petty.
The shit that
I didn't
matters.
get, the stuff that matters,
The stuff
right? The
that
stuff
matters.
that matters.
The stuff that
Exactly.
matters.
And I think your second
Absolutely.
question to that was
Yeah.
travel, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm big on
Let's talk
travel.
about that. You want to go to London, Paris, Japan, all these places. So, like, like how
I'm big on travel, as you alluded in my intro. Travel is, if it was a love
it
language,
would
that
be
would be
your
mine as well. Love to travel, having a little more low key summer, but travel as in personal travel. I don't really travel a lot for work, maybe like once or twice a year, which is great. But I definitely love to explore cities, explore food, and I can do it locally as well. I follow food blogs. So when there's a new restaurant in town, I keep like a tracker of something I want to check out with friends.
yeah.
So yeah, I just love to just see the world and experience different cultures, and it's just, I'm so blessed to do it, and I'm probably like that and have the travel bug from growing up and traveling with my family. So that is something I cannot wait to do with my spouse, of course, but then to do that with our children as well. It's like I cannot wait. So yeah.
I can't wait for y'all either, man. Like, I'm so excited. So, like, let me ask you this: do you make it easy to date you? Like, and that may sound like a crazy question. I don't want it to. Like, I don't want it to. I'm more so asking, like, okay, say for instance, it's like if there's something that can make you happy, that can make your day, like, okay,
Mhm.
this new restaurant opening, are you texting that to him in advance and being like, yo, would love to go here? Or is it like, damn, like, why didn't you book that for us? Because I wanted to go there. I'm curious.
So because I am proactive by nature, I might just say, hey, let's go here. Like I saw this. Like I'm gonna send you articles. I'm gonna send you, of course, memes and all these things. I'm not gonna take it, get offended if you don't schedule it. Now, I also desire. I say this to
Come on,
say
talk about the design.
I also desire someone that acknowledges, because I'm proactive and was a project manager before, I can plan the heck out of a trip. But I would love to
It's
step on a plane and not have to plan anything, because I enjoy planning. I do. But to me, that would be exciting to just, hey, babe, we're going here. Even if it's like up the street for dinner. Or, hey, I know you like, this type of Italian food. I found this new spot. Let's go. But I also love to do it. But I think that would be a nice surprise. That's thoughtful when
yeah.
somebody's like, I know you can plan the heck out of our trips, but I'm
I
going
know
to
you
do
plan
type of thing.
the last five of them, but
Exactly.
I got a call from
Exactly.
this cruise company, and they said we. That's a real life story with your boy.
Yeah.
But it ended up being pretty fun. It was a fun cruise. Okay. Uh, all right. So now we're at six. Man, this is moving so quickly. So six of nine. So love languages and attachment. So, okay, so you give quality time and words of affirmation. Look at Mal. Okay, so my wife, yeah, she know, man.
He's
I
laughing.
accepted them telemarketers. It was like, oh yeah, tell me more. We got a cruise and it's free. It was fun though. Mal, we had a good time. Okay, so back to Carly. Carly gives quality time and words of affirmation, but most prefers to receive acts of service and affirmation. She's securely attached, but also, balance is really important to her. So I feel like you could be able to like kind of like, even though you're securely attached, like you could have someone who may have a different attachment style if they're trying to get to secure attached, because I think that you know how to like balance it out,
Hmm.
their norm with. Yeah. So I don't know, like I mean, that was my take. Like, does that kind of land with you?
Yeah, I think because I've experienced being in different waves of attachment styles,
Yeah.
just looking back, and even looking back when I was in that situation, I thought, oh, I'm fine. But looking back, there need to be progress there. So I definitely have the grace to understand if somebody is not fully there in a secure attachment style. which is funny. I'm gonna go to the half price bookstore and find this book called Detached. I forgot the author, but
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you've
Yes.
heard of it. It's very popular currently. So I'm gonna go try and find that and read that because I know what attachment styles are, but I haven't read a book on it. So because I'm on my reading kick, I'm gonna do that. But I think I have a lot of patience and a lot of grace, and but I also have to remind myself just because I am like that to be very careful
With the
with
wrong person who's going to
yes,
take advantage of that
yes,
patience and
yes,
grace.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you can get stuck in a hamster wheel. I've done that before of like, fake progress, you know, and then you realize like, oh my gosh, like this is like the same thing over and over. So I have to be mindful of that. And I think just me learning a little bit more about my attachment style growth will, I'm definitely able to lend grace to somebody that is not fully there yet. That's learning.
Yeah. Ah, I'm with you. Okay, so let me see if I can ask you tough questions because you're giving me all the right answers. So how can I knock you off your square, right? So, okay, let's say he's not great at expressing love through your primary love languages. Like, how do you, like, do you, how, how long of a leash do you give him? We don't call it a leash. How long do you give him before you call it a quits or you say, yeah, this isn't for me?
So, from my perspective, calling it quit over love language is kind of it's taking it to a little too far. Only if you're able to have healthy communications about them. You know, my love language is acts of service. Okay, I'm gonna communicate that. Like if you can't help me, have a lawn, mow the lawn, do certain things. We talk about it. It becomes this bigger issue, right? You don't want to help around the house. You just want to be lazy, like a lump on a log. Okay,
Right.
that's it. But I'm not going to threaten leaving someone because we have a disagreement about something and we do need to talk it through. So that's why I think communication is so important because I'm not here to threaten or if you don't do this by this because we don't need to do that. We are grown at
You're
this big
grown.
age.
Right.
At this big age, if we can have a healthy conversation, I don't know if I should be dating you number one,
Right.
because people with kids, you add kids, it gets harder.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
half of my friends
Absolutely.
are married, so I hear about it all the time. It's not, the ring doesn't make things easier. The kids don't make things easier. It's the dedication, the effort, communication, and all the other things. Of
You
course, there's
you
so many layers
preaching. You preaching.
that
Yeah,
have
absolutely.
to
If you
put
got
into a relationship.
kids and you in the chat, tell us if it gets easier with kids.
Please,
Because
please.
that would be news to us.
Yeah. So I think it's just healthy conversations, and of course, it's like some of your healthy boundaries are being disrupted and it's a problem over and over, yes, that's a reason why to, but I think love language should be a conversation, should be preferences, like, hey babe, I love flowers, can you give me flowers? Okay, maybe he misses it, but you're gonna really break up with him over some flowers?
Right.
There's bigger things to talk about, to me at least, than
Do,
flowers.
do y'all see what I'm saying? Do y'all guys, do we see what I'm saying? Do you understand what I said in the intro and like what I'm saying? And like they do because I'm getting text messages right now,
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to you. But okay, so I guess the flip side of that question was like, okay, so you won't break up with somebody over love languages, but say for instance, he's like, yo, I need you to love me in this particular love language, and I'm not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you gonna say like what you gonna break up with me over love languages? I'm not giving that to you. Or are you going to try to give him that language that he
Mm-hmm.
may need?
No, I think this goes back to what I said about, meeting my love languages. It's a conversation. Now, granted, if there's no effort, I'm going to blanket statement this, but if there's no effort in any of the love languages on my end, of course, that's a problem. So I'm not saying I don't want it. I'm just saying, let's look at the consistent behavior. Like, are you making effort? Are you trying?
Yeah,
But the same goes, on the flip side for him. If I expect you to try for me, I have to try for you,
absolutely.
period.
Rest
So
is that like reciprocity or something?
yeah, like if I have expectations, also I also would have hope that I can deliver on my end as well because I don't
Absolutely.
think love languages are that complicated, really. they're to me they're
They're
really
not.
basic,
They're
you know.
actually pretty
But
simple. Hmm.
but I get it where sometimes it can be hard for a man to stretch their love languages, and maybe females that aren't used to doing certain things, like the whole like, oh, you didn't get me a card and flowers, right? And so if someone's not used to it, or maybe he downplays it, because I know guys are like, flowers are gonna die. Why do you need them?
Right. I'm literally killing the flowers by giving them to you.
It's like, well, you're not saving the world, so just give me the flowers. They're
Right.
$5 at Trader Joe's. Come
Right.
on,
Right.
you have $5, right?
Right.
So I
Okay.
think it's just it would save an argument, and it goes the same for us females as well. But I think that goes back to people being mature and wanting to do that, because I understand it can be hard to. We're adults, so even for me at this age, some things I've been stuck in my ways too. So I'm not gonna say it's easy for me to pivot all the time,
Yeah.
but I might
Sometimes you can
question.
get stuck, right? Like
Mhm.
we all know that you can get stuck. It's like,
Yes.
damn, like I want to act right. I know I'm not being good right
Yeah.
now.
So it can be
But,
hard.
yeah, it can be hard. But like I think that if you have those hard conversations where you
Mhm.
say, all right, like let's take a deep breath, right?
Mhm.
What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of arrive at some
Oh,
solutions, and
nice.
you can kind of give people grace. Yeah. What were you
I
looking at
was
the
looking
chat now or
at the
what?
chat.
Yeah, this is not look at the chat. I thought you said you were gonna look at the
Yeah.
chat.
But I mean, I also want to say, because I don't want to come off as like peaches and rosy and like, oh, relationships, la di da di da. I understand it can be hard and it can be work, right? There are going to be times where I'm going to be even comfortable having a conversation, or maybe I'm the one delaying the conversation, or I need 24 hours if
Ooh,
I'm
what
really,
conversation would you delay?
whew, probably if I'm probably something if I'm really pissed that they kept doing and we talked about it over and over and over. For me, it takes me a lot to get pissed because I have emotional intelligence. I can have conversations over and over because I'm able to do that at work. Like, come on, people, let's get
Yeah,
it together. We're adults, but you can't say that at work, right? So I'm able to kind of revisit things, but I think if it's something that's like rude or like, why are you doing this over and over? Like, I'm gonna boil over like any natural person, you know, after giving someone multiple chances because I'm human. Like, I'm gonna get mad, you know. So I just want to caveat that and not make it seem like, oh, she's never gonna get mad. No, I
oh my
will.
gosh, she's perfect. She doesn't get
No,
mad.
I will. You know, I'm
Quessy,
like
yeah,
everybody else.
y'all can ask questions. Actually, please ask questions. All you gotta do is hit that little question mark button, and I think that allows you to ask a question. What question you got, bruh?
Yeah, appropriate questions,
Yeah,
please.
what exact? Nah, Quessy's a good guy, man. He's not finna ask nothing crazy. He's a Christian man. You heard
But
me,
yeah,
Quessy.
I think why he's throwing that question in the chat. I think it's there's caveats that I haven't even experienced in relationships yet. So
Mm,
right, there's going to be some new topic down the line when I'm in something serious that I'm like, oh, I thought I was prepared to have this conversation.
yeah,
It's probably going to throw me off. So I think it's just the willingness to have the discussion and adapt and like know, okay, if we have this foundation down and this person can have conversations, okay, we can like freely flow and talk about it at least, and that's just like the first step to a lot of difficult.
absolutely. Let me ask you this: do you think people can change?
I do. I think we all can,
Y'all
but
can
but we all know it's on that person.
to change.
It's not. There's nothing. I mean,
There's nothing you
yes,
can do to make the person change. It's just okay. I see
they
what you're saying.
have to want to do it. They have to want to put in the work. Like maybe you suggest therapy as a form of having them change or getting better at something, but they're going to have to be the one to maybe schedule appointments, to engage, to be receptive to that therapist feedback and not be in denial. Like it's not me, it's my girl. Because that can be the case in therapy as well. It's like, it's not me, it's not me. Um, so I definitely think people can, but there's nothing there's not a lot I would say the other person on the other end can do.
Copy. And what a great filibuster, Carly. Like she told us while Quessy's getting his question together. Come on, Quessy, with the questions. While he's getting his questions together, she's gonna have this conversation. I feel like it was perfect timing. All right, so can you see his question?
No, he said drop the question in the box, so
I have
I
it.
can't see it.
So
Okay.
it's like it says, I thought it could show. Okay. He said, what do you love most about yourself? And what are you working on most?
Ooh.
What a good question.
I think what I love most about myself, and AJ, you and I, we might have talked about this, but probably my ability to feel like a safe, like, or provide a safe place that feels like home, whether it be for friends or my significant other. I remember my homeboy told me this in college, and I was like making grilled cheeses for everybody at my apartment. I'm like, oh my God, you're so homey. And I
Ah!
remember that comment.
Were you
Because it
cutting off
just,
the edges or nah?
no, I wasn't cutting
Okay.
off. I
I
was,
kind of like that. Okay.
I dip
Okay.
mine in ketchup actually. I don't know if that's like a weird thing, but my mom, she's from Ohio and she said she did it as a kid, so we eat our grilled cheeses with ketchup. Very
I
weird, I
haven't
know.
tried it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna judge. I'm gonna wait to judge.
Yeah.
Has anyone in the chat had their grilled cheese with ketchup? If so, would love to hear about your experience. Okay, so we have someone else, my bro Matt. He said, "What kind of things make you feel most alive and energized?" Yeah, and then I'm sorry before you answer.
Answer the other
So
one.
Jamie said, "Kind of like tomato soup." Yeah.
Yes. 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 But wait, I want to answer the other question. I answered the one about what I love about myself and what I'm working on. I didn't
Yeah.
finish the part two. So what I'm working on is probably just being more introspective about areas I can improve in. And I say that to say, because I like to read, sometimes, just like anyone, you can get caught up in thinking you know a lot of things. Like, oh, I know this, and I'm this, and I'm extroverted, and I have high emotional intelligence. And so I kind of already do this at work where I lead with feedback.
Mm.
Hey, is there anything else I can do to do a better job before they even give it to me? And I learned to do that in my last relationship through therapy, is going in and having check-ins, with people, so whether it be friends or family or whatnot. So that's something I'm always open to and trying to work on, because I never want to get caught up in my own self of like thinking I know it all. So yeah, that's just something like lifelong learner type of stuff. So I'm trying to get back into reading. I didn't read like all of COVID, and I just started reading again the last year. Which I only used to read like short articles. Now I can finally read books again. So yeah, I would say that is like I just want to grow. Like I don't ever want to think I'm like too good to like learn something or debate a topic or Um, so yeah, always want to be progressing.
I love that. What a great answer. Great job. All right. All right. So let me ask, and I love people check it. People are like, yo, she ain't finished the question yet. Okay. Let her finish the
Oh,
question.
what's
Okay.
the
So
next one?
yeah,
The
exactly.
next
Now we talk
question.
about the next one. So what kind of things make you feel most alive or energized? And then we had someone ask another question who's actually going to be someone. We had JJ who's going to be doing a live tomorrow. She asked a good question, but we'll get there after this one. You want me to
Okay.
repeat it or you got it?
Yeah. What kind of things I can see it now? Things
Oh,
make
now
me
you can see it.
feel
Okay,
most
cool, 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 cool,
alive and
cool.
energized. Oh, I have to go back to travel.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's like even me thinking about next year's travel, like I'm already like thinking about where I could go. It's exciting, and then also traveling with my family. I love to travel with my family, my parents and my siblings. They're all still in Austin, so we do family trips from time to time. So I think that probably makes me feel most alive. And in my intro, you mentioned
I
volunteering.
did.
Um,
Big brothers,
so
big
all
sisters. Like,
yes,
what was it? Come on.
the
Like,
Junior
it's
League of Houston.
Junior
So
League of
that's a
Houston.
all
Been
women's
doing it since
organization,
2014.
and you have to do so many hours, and so I've been volunteering with different organizations there. But yeah, like mentorship, I love it. I love to give back. I've mentored three individuals. The one I have now, I've been mentoring her since she was 7 and she's almost 13, so we've been matched for a while. And she, just to watch her grow into almost a little teenager, young adult, has been amazing. Her mom loves that she's in the program, and I have to be giving back. Like if I'm, whether it be like sending someone a job opportunity that might be looking, or volunteerism. I never want to feel like I'm too good to give back to the things where it's needed the most. So that makes me alive as well, in addition to travel.
I told y'all.
Good food. Oh, good happy hour. I
I
love a good happy hour.
told y'all. And she loves a good happy hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so JJ asked in her own words, why is she single?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
Um, so kind of to bring it all together, because we've been talking for almost an hour. Um,
Has
I'm
it
single by
been?
choice.
Damn.
It's almost been an hour. Single by choice because the people I've met or interacted with, you know, haven't really been intentionally dating or on the path that I have been on. I will be honest and transparent, like I was with AJ, and say before I signed up, or actually before we had our conversation, our one-on-one conversation, I was doing online dating. So I did the thing, which I was really anti-online dating. And then everyone started doing it. So I did that. But, it can be challenging to find someone that, is filling out detailed surveys like the well matched. That's not one online.
Absolutely.
Although it is called online dating, people are online dating for a variety of reasons. Not everybody's intentionally, dating for marriage. That's what I'm doing. Like, I've dated people similar to what AJ said earlier that say, yeah, I want marriage, I want kids,
The
to find
show.
out exactly 6 months later, no.
Where you
So,
at?
I've done that, and now my goal this year is putting myself in different places and spaces. And this is one. Like, I've never been on a podcast or a live or anything like that. Um,
And you're crushing it.
and
And
and so this is a
did.
different place and a different space. It's
Absolutely.
it's very vulnerable to be here. But I know I need to do it, and there's other things I've done throughout this year to kind of put myself in different environments, uh, because I don't want to just marry anyone. I could have done that already. I think we all know, like, you can have a baby easily, you can marry somebody easily, but is it going to meet your healthy boundaries? Is it going to be healthy? So you have a choice. You either wait, you put yourself in different places, or you settle. So that kind of sums up why I'm here
I'm so
and
proud
why
of
being intentional.
you. I'm so
So
proud of you.
thanks
Girl,
for
you're
asking.
killing it. Okay. You're doing great. Okay. Can y'all just hit the like button so we can just see the hearts just coming over her face? Just like, come on, man. Like, she's doing so great, and I told her she would, cause like everything that Carly's saying is just, it's real. Like, this is who she is. Like, I knew her, you know what I'm saying? Like, I saw it reiterated in the questionnaire. I saw it reiterated when she booked the one-on-one. And I was like, you know what? Let's do a live one-on-one.
So book your 101.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So book your
Tell
one-on-one.
your
Absolutely.
friends.
Because people be like, what kind of one-on-one? Why I gotta book the one-on-one? I'm like, oh my God. Like,
So
I'm just
I
trying
can
to
I can I can highlight why the 101 is so
I
important,
appreciate
because
that.
when you fill out the survey, you're like, man, did I say that? Or was it too long? Or was it too short? Like, you could be doing multiple things. But then you really want to meet and articulate and reframe, or actually say, take that out. So,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
AJ has the right frame of mind with your questions, because there are questions that we talked about and I said, actually, no, I didn't mean that. Or actually, this is my preference and not this. And
Hmm.
so, yes, the questionnaire is long. I was like, ooh, this long? You know?
You know I can get a little
But
long-winded.
but I think there's a purpose behind
Yeah.
it, and it's needed. And I was excited because there's all these matching services out there, and I will be transparent and say I can't remember the name of one where I gave them, I don't remember how much I gave them, but to be like their pool of women.
Hmm.
Um, I only have heard back one time from them since like October. So, and
Word.
they sell you a dream
We
of, yeah, we have
got them. We got all the guys.
yeah, because I'm
They
trying to
don't. They
trying to
don't.
do things
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good fit because you're really intentional. You go through the questions, we can talk through them, and we obviously still have to do the work. You know, I can't just be matched with somebody and be a terrible person. Uh,
Absolutely.
you
And
know,
the one-on-one helps me realize that you're not a terrible person because people don't realize I'm matching for both sides. I'm not just matching for you, I'm
mhm.
matching for the other person too. Like shout out to Davion. Like Davion's a great dude. Y'all, Davion is a great dude. I want to get him to do a live actually. Just in the same sense to
Mhm.
kind of just show y'all like who he is. And it's like he did a one-on-one and it's like, yo, someone recommended it to him. And so I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where it's like if you do the one on one, I get to just kind of get to know you, and that's like, yo, if I knew you in advance, maybe don't worry about it, maybe. But like if there's just some things we probably should just discuss and just get on the same page on, like
But
please just do the one
I
on
think
one.
even if you know that person, it's like
I
how
was
many
trying to
times
show Bill, right,
yeah,
yep,
how many
yep,
times are you asking somebody about like what are their five preferences, like
yeah,
looks or quality time or whatever, or do you know everybody's
right,
salary? Like there's really detailed questions that are important to understanding your non-negotiables. So it's like because there's things I don't know about my friends that maybe I would assume.
absolutely.
You know,
You're
you
right,
send
you're
people
right.
friends pictures of people all the time. They're like, hell no. I'm like, well, what about this guy? You know, so you learn by
Yeah,
having those detailed conversations and filling out the survey. And it'll take 30 minutes of your time. You'll be fine. You can watch a show and listen to the music while you do
that's my
it. You know,
dog, bro.
like
Appreciate you.
just
Do y'all see what I'm talking about? Okay. Y'all see the personality. I think y'all do. I mean, I'm not going. That's the thing. I'm not going to lie to anyone. Like, there's so many things you can say about people just to kind of like give you a picture of who they are.
mm-hmm,
But like certain things, when you say certain things, I mean those things that I say,
mm-hmm.
right? So, everything I said about Carly is true. Um, everything I said about Jamie last week is true. Like everything I said about Hunt, and like these are amazing people, and so it's just really cool to just have this moment. Okay, so unpacking your answers out loud in real time. Yes, Tari, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's good marketing, but I don't see that as marketing, bro. For real, it's just
Yes.
real. Okay,
It's just what this is.
this
It's
is what
like,
it is. It's
you know,
community. Yeah,
yeah.
it's good
And I
community.
think for me, so I say to say if people know you, I felt even more comfortable doing it
Mm,
because I'm like, okay, you know, if I see him in person and it's a flop, I can be like, you know what? No. But but because I know you, it's like, oh, I'm comfortable with it and just what I do know, I just know like, okay, this is like legit. Like let me try
absolutely.
it, you know? I mean, different places and spaces, why not?
Different places, different spaces. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I just appreciate that. That was so kind of you to say all those amazing, kind words. That wasn't scripted.
No, it wasn't.
that,
That
that
wasn't a
this is
question.
not like
That
at
was
nine. Okay, girl, at 9 o'clock we're gonna go into the ads, and I just need you to really talk
yeah.
about why the questionnaire, and
No,
get
that's
people to do
really
that.
how I feel.
Yeah,
Like legit. You're right. We didn't talk about that. That is 100% how I
thank
feel.
you,
I'm excited. And I think
thank
things
you.
like this give you even more confidence regardless of what happens from
Oh
here.
gosh.
You know?
Hey, like I told you, I'm getting text messages right now. So don't you worry. Let's get to 7. So 7 out of 9.
Okay.
So deal breakers and red flags.
Okay.
So I asked you, what are your biggest no-goes and how have red flags impacted your past? And you said like, yo, some of your deal breakers and red flags are you gotta be monogamy. Like you gotta be monogamous.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta want kids, preferably two.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then adopt one. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you gotta have the same political alignment. They
Yeah.
gotta have. They don't have
Well,
to make as much as you. You top 2%, but
mm-hmm.
like they need to have some financial stability for themselves. That's a must, right? So like, and while you were very clear on those kind of deal breakers, like your red flags are just around when your core values don't
Mm-hmm.
align. And the beautiful thing about what I saw about your profile, you're not compromising. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not like, yo, it's a preference. With you, it's like, nah, this is it. Like I'm being fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going to give you, like I'm not asking for nothing crazy. but this is what I'm asking for.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree.
and it's okay if it doesn't match. If it's okay if it doesn't align, but
Yeah.
you know.
I
Okay, so let me
think
ask
the
my question. Okay, go ahead, my
oh
bad.
no, ask your question. Ask your question.
Okay, so if he's perfect on paper,
Mm-hmm.
but misses one of your core deal breakers. So let's say he wants something that's different than monogamy. Maybe he don't
Mm-hmm.
want kids. Maybe he a Republican. Maybe he MAGA. You know what I'm saying? Is it MAGA or MAGA, y'all?
I think it's MAGA, but people pronounce it different ways. So
Thank you for
whatever
not
it is,
thank you for
whatever
not
it is,
doing
it
it
ain't
like
me.
MAGA? MAGA,
I
that's what
think
it is?
it's
Okay.
MAGA. I
Is it
think. I don't
can
know.
someone put the enunciation in the chat? Nah, but okay, so let's say that he's great. Like he's your ideal
Mm-hmm.
guy in terms of like how he looks, but then on one of those things, Mal, yes, she is so matter of fact. That's one thing I love about my wife. She's just like, Mal, are you here? I am here. Is this correct? Yes. Okay. So like, so back to you, Carl. So like, if he doesn't have, like, say he's great, he's like,
Mm-hmm.
Greek guy, he's handsome, he's attractive, he's social, like he does therapy, like y'all get along great, but he doesn't want kids. Like, is that something that you gonna bend on?
Yeah, that's called no pass go. Like, no, I'm not. Like,
So
no,
no, you're not gonna. Yeah.
because
Okay.
you can't have like half a kid. Like, you can't, like half a human. I mean, you either can have kids or you don't. Like, there's no compromise in between that, and those are very reasonable. And I think the earlier you find that out, which could definitely in the first month you're just dating someone, not even in a serious relationship, the easier it is to walk away, right? I'm not here to convince anyone to have a kid. If they don't know, that's perfectly fine. Like, there's tons of people I know that don't want kids or end up having kids, really didn't want kids. And so that's why, to our conversation earlier, be authentic, communicate what you want. If you don't want the same thing, that's okay, but we just don't need to
Yeah.
be a match, because that's called forcing something. And then guess what happens? You end up resenting them because they don't want a kid, and then you try to convince them to have a kid, then that's extra stress. No, I want someone that genuinely wants to be a father, that is excited, that cannot wait. That's not, and it's okay if you don't want kids, that's totally fine,
Right.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
just,
You're just saying, yeah, that's
yeah,
not your guy. Hmm.
yeah, not my guy.
So what I'm saying, guys, I'll just reiterate one more time. Carly's boundaries are reasonable, clear, and I thought very fair, which protects her heart in time and yours, right? So it's
Mm-hmm,
like just talk to her about what you were trying to do, what your goals
mm-hmm,
are, what your how you see the amount of kids you want to have, like the work life balance, like all those things, like it's really she is at a point where it's like, yo, we can talk about those. And that, what I was struggling with as I was just walking through that, you won't
mm-hmm,
have to for real,
mm-hmm.
because I got you. Like I'll like I got you. Like, yeah, like if they're not about that life, and that's a cool thing about matchmaking. Just quick plug. Cause like probably you're a great person. You know, someone can see this live and shoot their shot, and y'all could not be aligned in some areas, but then they may act like, yo, like, nah, we good, we vibing,
Yes.
like I like you, I'm saying, I'm cool, blah blah blah. Let me take you out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, let's go through me, because like I have the questionnaire, like, and that people, I think people are being honest, because it's like, yo, it's about finding your person. It's not about you posturing for someone
Yeah.
else. So I'm gonna set you up with someone. And I already have someone in mind, but I'm still open. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say names. He's here, but like I'm not gonna say names. But like, yo, like if you are also interested, we can figure out like who's most compatible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Anyway, so you're doing good, girl. So like number 8 of 9, roles in co-leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Carly prefers fluid roles and wants a true partnership, as you can hear and see, where each leans into strength. She's not like, yo, 50-50, but balance. Like it's you know how like 50-50 right now in the
Yeah.
culture has kind of gotten hijacked, right? Like it's about balance with her,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's about respect. And um I think you mentioned like yo, you're not trying to be a kept woman, right? Like, but it's like talk about like your views on like gender roles and
Yeah.
just traditional versus
Yeah.
like
You and
yeah.
I talked about this whole being kept woman and society and all that and how it defines it's like number one, have a conversation about your expectations.
Yeah.
Hello. Um, yeah, I have expectations as as being in a relationship with someone that, you know, elements of being a kept woman should be met, right? But I think it's for me, I want balance in a relationship, right? If I'm the one better at managing your budget, I love finances. I just came from a finance role. I don't mind doing that. Let's lean into our strengths. If you need help edging the lawn, like I have a lawn. I mow my lawn sometimes and rotate between my lawn guy
Hold
depending if
up.
I'm busy. Because I take pride in my lawn. I'm the neighbor that will look at my neighbor's yard and like
Ah,
question why you have not put fertilizer down. So, but there's different things I take pride in, and so I don't mind like taking that off of my significant other because they, had a busy day or long day. Because I think there's balance there. Like let's lean into our strengths. I mean, you can cook, I can cook, we both can clean. There's things obviously we can do the same things, but I think it's really about having that balance, especially based on like work schedule. Fortunately for me, I'm remote, so I work from home, and I can get a lot of stuff done, that way as well.
mhm.
But I definitely think it's an expectation conversation type of thing because I take pride in working. I want to work. I want to contribute to the household, like you said. I enjoy my work also, working in healthcare. So I think that's why communication is so important. Um, because I've just learned by trial and error, right? When you don't advocate for yourself or you don't speak up and you make an assumption
No one else
that
will.
somebody's going to do X, Y, and Z, you just end up being resentful and mad.
Absolutely.
So I learned over time and matured in the way just being even more transparent and leading into that, and not coming off rude, like, hey, can you help, hey, can you do this, which is important.
So I heard you say something earlier. You said if he's cutting the grass but hasn't gotten to the edging part, like you're gonna go out there and help edge. Is that true? Like, are you just saying that
i
to just be likable or what?
I say that because I don't know if I'm different, but I like lawn work. I just planted some plants, and now granted I don't do it all the time because I get busy and I have a lawn
Yeah.
guy, but because I like to travel, this is me, my finances, and going out to eat. Well, I have a lawnmower that my parents bought me when I moved in as a gift, and I have an edger, and I have every single tool.
Hmm.
And if I can do it and spend $50 on going out to eat with my friends, like I did last night, the chopping block. Shout out
Shout
the chopping
out
block.
Opie.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, you know what? Your first date, we sending you the chopping block.
It was
Shout out Opie.
so
Well,
good.
I guess I don't want to send you back there. What
Well,
you have? You had the Black Star? What
huh?
you
I,
have?
I I think I had like something called the like was it Buka Buka?
Baby.
It was like braised beef or something
I
like that.
love chopping
Yeah.
block.
I've only been once. I've been to the food, the post, and
Yeah,
I've ate, but that was my first time at their new physical location.
love
And
chopping
now I'm
block.
totally like forgot what we were even talking about.
Man,
Oh, the lawn,
we talk about
the
lawn
lawn.
care.
So I do that so I can spend my money in other ways sometimes
Someone said
because
that girl that Buka Bowl. Oh my god.
yes, it was so good. It was so good.
Chopping block. Shout out Opie. He's a bruh too. He's an
Oh,
alpha.
really?
Went to
He was
U of
there
H.
last night also, so he said hi to all of us as we were
Oh,
leaving.
that's what's
So
up, man.
yeah.
He's a really good guy. He's
But
a
yes,
really
so
good guy.
I know how to mow a lawn and I know how to edge because I mean I have one
So
and I
like,
do
okay,
that.
so you're like, yo, like if you weren't here, I'd be edging by myself and mowing by myself. So if you mowing, like, let me just edge.
Yeah. I mean I do it by myself now. Like I balance it because like I said, I'm into like budgeting and finances and like hardcore travel.
Hmm.
So, you gotta balance. You can't pay for everyone to do everything in your life. That's my opinion. And regardless if I move up, the career ladder, which I'm doing, I'm still like, well, I have time to mow it. Like I think I might mow it this weekend and put some
It's
fertilizer
low
on it.
key mowing is relaxing. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I like to
Yeah.
do it sometimes. It's hot right now, so I've
Right.
definitely called the lawn guys the last couple times. But so just stuff like that. Like I'm fully capable of doing it. Just like balancing stuff. And there's just things I don't like to do. Like I hate washing dishes. So I got to do it though. But I think it's just a balance of helping out.
Absolutely. And like the question I was gonna ask you is like, yo, if he expects traditional roles and you want fluidity, can you navigate that, or is that a deal breaker? And I know like just from I think we all know the answer. We can
Mhm.
all say it together. We can talk about that early on.
Yes, we can talk about that early on because I don't want to be well, I don't want you to work. You need to stay at home, cook and clean, raise the kids. That's not me. I'm going to work. I'm going to take maternity leave and then I'm going to go back. Because who wouldn't want two incomes? I mean, that's just how I think. I mean, you need help, hire a nanny or something. Um, so I definitely am not a traditional like stay at home type of woman. You know, I rather work. That's my preference.
I'm hey man, I love to see it, because it's like, yo, it's whatever you want. Like men are gonna do whatever y'all want. Like, yo, if y'all want to not work, we're gonna be like, yo, let me get her to where she can work. If you want to
Mhm,
work, cool. Cause like who won't benefit from two incomes? It's like, yo, you
mhm,
got the Huxtables or you got Fresh Prince of Bel Air. You want to be Claire or you want to be Aunt Viv.
mhm,
Either way, those are both great families.
mhm. Yeah. Either way, so like I know some people like love to stay home.
Yeah,
Kudos to them, but I'm just thinking of that dual income.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
want put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Are you team Viv? Are you team Viv where you're like, yo, stay at home, cat? Or are you team and this is like, yo, if y'all as a family, as a dual income, you hit that number. Are you team Viv where it's like, yo, I wanna work from home and do aerobics on a Tuesday? You know what I'm saying? Or are you team like Huxtable or Team Claire, where it's like, yo, like we both doctors. Stop playing. Like, oh, we both know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like my job too.
But
I'm
people,
just curious. I'm just
someone said,
curious.
"Team Viv, say less."
Team Viv. Okay, so that's Rebecca. Rebecca is different. Okay, but no, but okay, Claire, we got 1-1, one to
Oh, we
one,
got
1-1.
Claire.
Shout out Rebecca. Shout out Nina. Okay, so it's 1-1. I'm just curious. And like, fellas, if y'all are here, I would love if y'all would want
I'll
a
take
team
aerobics for
div,
200.
or if you would want. My wife said, I'll take aerobics for 200, Alex. Oh, Lord. Viv me immediately. Okay, come on, y'all. Come on, come on. Team Claire, so we can achieve the goal quicker.
Yes,
Come on.
exactly.
Okay. But it's pretty even. So like what I love to see is like, yo, it's not one answer. It's your
Hmm.
answer. That's what
Exactly.
I love.
Like I said, go either
It's
way
your
because
answer.
if you're stay at home, you can save so much on daycare, right? Like a stay at home mom, like you could say there's a lot of things you can,
Yeah.
it balances out to your point, and I think there's perks to both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like because
Absolutely.
the funny thing is, I say that now, and this is why people, you can't get stuck in your ways. Like I say that now, and then you have a kid, and you're like, ooh, I don't want to go back to
Exactly.
work, So
Right.
that's you're evolved.
Absolutely.
I might change my mind where I'm like, nah, I just want to sit at
But
home.
look, but look, but look, but we're already gonna select a guy that's like, yo, we can talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a conversation.
It's a
You know,
conversation,
can we
right?
do this
Like y'all see
financially?
what I'm trying
Does
to
it make
solve
sense?
for?
Yeah.
I'm trying to solve like, okay, that's my like process for real. It's like, yo, like it's a conversation. It's not cut in stone. It's
Hmm.
like who's willing to have a conversation and then be like, all right, well, yeah, like we can if that's what you want to do, cool. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Because people can change. She just said she could change. She expects people to change. So I think.
Yeah.
think y'all are seeing like what I'm trying to do here, right? Like I want to. This is like a live. We would have this conversation without everybody else here, and I would like ask these questions in order to get information and elicit information to say like, oh, I understand you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But with this live one-on-one, I'm trying to show y'all like, okay, do y'all see what I'm seeing?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, yo, maybe somebody who's interested may be watching and seeing it in real time. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, but I got you. We like this, twin. All right. So let me go back to all right. So I think we had the last section, which is
Okay.
physical attraction and
Mm-hmm.
sexual chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you prefer taller men,
Yeah.
active lifestyles, good hygiene, good smile, and you prefer this is what you put you prefer transparency early on. That's not physical or
Mm-hmm.
sexual. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? But
I mean,
transparency is just sexy to you.
well, exactly, because we know that looks is not everything.
There we
Looks
go.
won't save your marriage. Looks won't, help you financially. So I think a lot of us have always, have been there in the past where we've, stay with someone because they're so attractive, make all the other things, forces things to work because like, oh, I mean, we vibe. And don't get me wrong, I want to be attracted to my person,
Yeah,
physically, sexually, all those things,
absolutely.
right? Just I'm assuming like the man would also,
Hmm.
but there's multiple layers to it. So it's like, yes, you can be attractive or you can make all this money, but if you're abusive, if you're, all those, you don't want kids, you're all these other things, that's not healthy for me to be in.
That's not healthy for most people. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that's just not a
Yeah.
healthy abusive.
Yeah.
That nah, fuck that. Like we're off that. Like yeah, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like mm-mm. Mm-mm. So we're trying to filter that out, that shit out quick.
Early. Yes.
Yeah, hell no. Like if anybody even like signal that, it's like, all right, thank you for your time.
Pass the
All right
question.
now, you know what I'm saying? Like, all
Yeah.
right, brother, keep it
Mm-hmm.
moving. Like, nah, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. And excuse my French, y'all. Um, okay, so you like taller men. How tall are you? You're 5'7.5", aren't
Yeah.
you?
5'7.5", so I guess let's round it. 5'8".
So you feel like, yo, like, okay, what's a tall man to you?
So to me, like a typical woman, a tall man is
6 foot,
6 feet or higher.
right?
However, let's go back to the statistics, just like we were talking about earlier, right? On income,
Oh,
right? So
okay.
I have dated people that aren't 6 foot, right? And so it's like my thing is like just be taller than me, you know.
Just be
I mean,
five seven and a half.
height is a preference, not a deal breaker. There is obviously a preference, like 6 foot. I mean, yes, I would love that. But if you're 5'11" or 5'10" and you're great, I'm not gonna. Oh, you need to be 2 inches taller. Sorry.
Right,
Um,
right. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah.
Are you when you think of height, like is it about like chemistry in the moment or is it about like I want my kids to be tall or like what is it about for
I
you?
don't know. Like, it's just like something about a tall man that can just like not that short people can't like pick you up and all these things, but I don't know what it is. It's just like the physical look of a tall man that can, I don't know. Maybe it comes off as it's. I think maybe more of like an illusion of like being stronger and all these things. That's why I say it's nice to have. Um, and then of course, like for me, I'm not that tall, but I am taller on the taller side. My dad's 6'3", that's why I'm so tall. Is
Mm.
like when you wear heels, like you're not gonna be as tall as him. But like I said, like those are what are those
Preferences,
preferences,
not deal
Disney
breakers.
movie stories,
Yeah, I got you.
So yes, it would be nice,
I got you.
but
Okay. The people that was texting me tall, don't you worry. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I got something else for you. Okay, so like, what age group are you interested in? Like, what's my floor and ceiling for matching you?
um I'm trying to remember what we talked about, but
Now, just
probably
tell me now. Just tell me what's like,
35,
what's go. Yeah.
30, I think maybe like 35, 36 to 42.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm 38, so obviously it can kind of swing either way. Early 30s, probably not, uh, but
It's
still
like
want
you would have someone that's older than you than your
to. You
junior.
know what?
It's just
I
like you
don't
went
have a
2 years
preference.
less, but then 4 years higher. Same.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a preference on like which way it swings, but yeah, a couple years older and a couple years younger, I think is totally fine.
Okay. If y'all have any questions, now's the time to ask them, fellas. Like we're about to kind of wrap it up and go into the fast round. Pick one or the other, no explaining. But Carly, I'll just say, I think you did an amazing job. As I knew you would, I told you that. But this was it was a live I really enjoyed, and I enjoy all of them, but just appreciate you.
Thank
Um, so let's see. So this is your time, fellas, to ask, or ladies too, sure, ask questions. But I'm gonna go through a quick kind of fast round. You got to pick one, no thinking.
you. Okay.
Okay. So first class flight or quality time at home?
First class flights.
Not the close eyes. Okay, cool. Dinner date with depth or weekend trip with vibes?
You already know. Weekend trip with vibes.
Consistent communicator or thoughtful provider?
Ooh, that's hard.
Answer it.
Consistent communicator.
Y'all heard it. Okay, emotionally grounded or spiritually aligned?
Spiritually
There you
aligned.
go. Leads with his actions or his words?
Actions, for sure.
Legacy builder or lifestyle curator?
Legacy, legacy, legacy.
Right, that's a song, ain't it? All right, plans the date or pays attention to the details?
Ooh, plans to date.
Calm presence or strong ambition?
Ambition, 100%.
Man of prayer or man of purpose?
Man of prayer.
Work hard together or rest well together?
Ooh, probably rest.
Come on,
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
rest. You don't. Okay. Black love in private or I'm sorry, black love in private or public commitment?
Public commitment.
Come on,
Y'all know
public.
about my man.
Smart with money or generous with time?
Smart with money.
He shows up or he checks in?
Mm, checks in.
Mm. He matches your pace or sets a steady one?
That's a steady one.
Come on, leader. Aligned values or effortless chemistry?
Ooh, aligned values.
Mm. So you'll take the values over the
Yeah,
chemistry. We
I,
said no explaining. We said
yeah,
no explaining.
yeah.
Well, listen, Carly, really appreciate you. Uh, it's been a pleasure to get to know you, you know what I'm saying, like in this capacity to where I can match you with somebody. Like I said, I really appreciate the opportunity you gave me to like match you because it's like I'm taking it seriously. I think I told you, I want you on the live because you are this really big personality
Mhm.
that is very genuine. And I think people are really going to connect with you. So just wanted to give you your flowers and just say thank you, thank you, thank you for doing this. I know this was like outside of your immediate comfort zone. And I think that the way you navigated through all of this was really cool. Thank
Thank
you.
you. And thank you for asking me because, like I said, I wasn't raising my hand.
You weren't. You had your email
Yeah,
drafted.
I was like, yeah, okay. But this is like a testimony to one of my goals earlier this year, and I'll repeat it like different places, different spaces to meet the life partner. You can't keep swiping right or doing the same things just because I'm extroverted. I go out,
Mhm.
but I needed a different avenue to make those connections. And that's why I wanted to be brave and fill out the survey, schedule the one-on-one match, and then, eventually say yes to the live because it's not something I would typically do. and doing something you typically won't do will obviously give you experiences that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise, or connections. And that's the whole point of this, so I had to get outside of my
It's like
comfort zone.
the opposite of the definition of insanity,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like we always heard like, yo, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting, different results. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, this is something different, something new.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yo, like this might result in the new result that you were
Yeah.
looking for. So
Yeah.
just know that if you decide to do this, I know people, a lot of people are probably watching this and saying like, "Yo, I may be open to that now."
Mm-hmm.
Just know I'm going to take so much care in just making you feel comfortable
Yeah.
in it. Um, and yeah, it's not about going viral. It's about showing your humanity, and it's about like how do we share who you are with the world, and
Mm-hmm.
just show like the best parts, but also be real and honest about what we want and don't want, because we know that we're not trying to play games at this point. Like
No,
yeah,
I don't have
we're,
time.
no one
Okay.
has time. No one has time. They ain't time,
Yes.
right? So, but listen, Carly, appreciate you. I got you. Hit me. I'm
Okay.
gonna hit you tomorrow. I'm
Thank you.
gonna hit you tomorrow. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming and joining. Really appreciate it, y'all. Like it was a lot of people that came in and out, so really, really grateful for that.
And thank you for
Uh,
cheering me on, everyone in the chat. I appreciate it.
Yes, 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 yes. Nah, you got a lot of love today. You got a lot of love today, but it's warranted. Dope
Okay.
person, dope individual. I told y'all at the intro this was gonna be one of those ones, and it was. So, Carly, appreciate you. Have a good night. We'll talk
Thank
tomorrow.
you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.